Welcome, everyone. Good evening, and thank you again for joining us for night 3 of our restoring or rediscovering your innate alternating rhythms through dance class sessions with Neal Hallinan. And thank you again, Neal, for doing this. It's been awesome. Really enjoyed it, and I know a lot of people have as well because we've gotten some great feedback. Tonight, Neal is going to help us really put it all together with some styling. And I don't know about most of you, but I found last week as introducing the arms is quite challenging. So I'm sure tonight will be even more of a challenge. But I'm going to go ahead and unmute Neal and spotlight him. But we're excited for week 3. And as a reminder, all 3 of these are available on our PRI YouTube page. So if you missed any week and you want to go back and catch up or practice, they are all available on our YouTube page.
All right, so I am unmuted.
You are unmuted, and let me spotlight you here. You are good to go.
Okay, I'll change my view. I want to see people more. View gallery. Okay. All right, so tonight I had mentioned that week 3 would be more about how to integrate shoulders and hips into dancing, which is not easy. Okay, so if you found arms to be challenging, the shoulders and the hips are even more challenging. But when you get good at it, it makes everything look a lot better. And it does have PRI applications because it's all rib cage and pelvis. So if you can learn to really control your, so if I say shoulders, just think rib cage because the shoulders are riding on top of that rib cage. So if I roll my shoulders, you can just as well say as I'm rolling my rib cage. All right, so being able to control your rib cage and your pelvis, that's kind of the essence of PRI to a large degree. So the things I show you tonight, I've always thought about as I was learning PRIs, and well, this is a lot like Latin motion in dancing. It's like, I wonder if I taught this to people, whether this could be something. I've never taught it to PRI clients, but I've always been kind of wanted to in the back of my mind, like, can I show them how to place their hands on their hips and start to roll their shoulders and control their rib cages, which we're going to get to. And then if I have them learn how to pendulally move their hips from side to side, would they be feeling AFIR on both sides? Would they be feeling that push of your weight from one side to the neck to the other? So I've had all these things in my mind, and it just so happens that the idea finally came to fruition that I can actually put this into these dance concepts into PRI, because again, they're not really different. So I hope that tonight at least you'll get an idea of how when I do this little 2-step, when we do this, it could look very boring just by going like this. This is how beginners would probably do it. But when you see someone who has been dancing for a while, they're putting, if you look at I put this little bounce into it. All right, that's from learning how to do this thing called Latin motion, which is taught, it's the underlying, it's what makes Latin dancing Latin, is the unique hip motion. It separates it from ballroom. But learning how to do that, you're really feeling AFIR as you shift from side to side. So you're shifting into some hip to one side or the other. And I always remember, before I had actually discovered PRI, I noticed that people would often have trouble getting that pelvis to shift to the left. They would kind of get stuck. So they'd have some people just end up in pain. Their back would hurt. They're trying to get the hips to go from side to side, but they're so restricted on one side or both that sometimes they would have it and then it would just kind of skip and they would just tighten up and it wouldn't work. But over time, people get it. But again, it's just something that I believe, because when you do it, I'm pushing with the ground. And we know in PRI, you have to be able to push through the floor. You have to sense the ground to move your pelvis and your upper body appropriately. And the same thing with Latin motion. If you can't effectively use the ground underneath you, it's going to look funny. Your knees are going to lock out And it's going to look very angular and just like staccato, like it's very sharp instead of a smooth side-to-side motion, okay? But first, so we're going to get to that. We'll get to the shoulders also. But first, I just wanted to get to a step that I didn't get to on the first week, but it's really, really simple, and it's completely a PRI exercise. Think of a 90-90, and your left, so this is my left leg, left foot's on the wall, you're reaching with the left arm. So I just wanted to get to that, and it's just kicking. So in dancing, there's not really, again, there's not a million things you can do with your feet. You can step, and you can tap, and you can kick. So kicking is involved in a lot of, well, in pretty much any dance you do, there will be kicking. So I just want to throw this in here as another option. So if you go through week 1, week 2, week 3, you could add this to your week 1 routine. You could always just pick 3 steps out of all of them and do those. You don't have to, obviously, they're interchangeable. All right, so I just want to show this little kick step, because I did do it in April, but I wanted to make sure that I got to go over it again, because it does have, again, PRI applicability. And you could also pause on it. So you could hold that position for 4 beats. So you're in left stance, right swing, you're reaching with your left arm, reaching back with the right. This is pretty much what it's about, okay? So if you were to do this, the 2-step first, so you just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, you know what? I'm going to go the same direction as you. So you're going to go to your right. I'm going to go to my left. So if you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, you just tapped with your, which foot? Your right foot? Whichever foot you just tapped with, you're then going to kick with it and reach with the other. All right, so that's the kick and the reach. Kick and reach. Kick and reach. So
Neal, can I have you back
right
up
there.
like just a half step? Like back up just a half step.
Oh, sorry.
There you go.
Great.
Perfect.
Kick and reach. And then you go to the other side. Kick and reach. And you just alternate. Kick and reach. Kick and reach. Kick. 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 Now, if you're on your left foot, you could obviously sense that left heel as you do it. If you're on your right foot, you could sense that right arch and right big toe as you do it. And it's just straightforward. Kick, 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 kick. Now, when you kick, it's always going to look better if you raise the leg and extend the knee. So you kick like this. Instead of just throwing the whole leg in front, you bring the leg up and kick by just extending the knee. So it'll look like this. Kick, 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 okay? All right, so again, if you did the 2-step first, so do the 2-step for an 8 count. 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Kick, 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 kick. Done. All right, make sense? All right, I'm not going to go into more than that. I just wanted to throw that one out there as a possibility. And again, of course, you could always pause for 4 beats. So you could pause in that left stance position, 1, 2, for count the beats, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then just go back into the 2-step. Okay. Now, another turn. So we did spins, kind of, you went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If you know that figure 8, the figure 8 walking, I'm going to teach you how to, it's kind of weird at first, because it's going to be a step, tap, step, tap, step, tap, step, tap. Now, I'm going to be in a very small area, but you could make this as big as you want, because you're going to do a walking turn to the left. So if you're doing a walking turn to the left, we want to make it a big circle. So if you have space, I don't have space and staying in the camera, but I'm going to show you just how it goes, because again, once you know how to do it, you can just throw it in there for yourself. So I'm going to start. I'm going to have to walk to my right to match up with you guys. So I'm going to go like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now just watch me before you do it. You can see my feet. I'm going to step and tap, step and tap, step. You know, I'm just gonna walk straight because I'm not even gonna be able to make a circle. So I step, tap, step, tap, step, tap, step, tap. I'm gonna turn around. And that's what you're gonna just do in a circle. It doesn't really matter which foot you start with. Step, tap, step, tap, step, tap, step, tap. So whichever foot you tap with, you then step with the same foot. So I'm gonna start with I'll start stepping with my right foot. So I step with the right, tap left, step with left, tap right, step with right, tap left, and so on and so on. And you just keep doing that. And you're gonna do it as you walk in a circle. So you could do you could do the 2-step or the 4-step. So if I do this bachata step, the 4-step, 1, 2, 3, 4, then I'll go 5, 6, step, tap, step, tap, step, tap, step, tap, step, tap. I'm just going in a circle. You could do it for 8 beats, you could do it for 12 beats, you could do it for 16 beats. It doesn't matter how many beats you do. You're just going them in a big circle to the left till you get back to the center, and then you can just go back into a basic step, okay? Let me go over it one more time because I know someone's probably confused, although I can't see on the screen who that may be, but I'm sure that people are. So again, whichever foot you step with, you then, no, I'm not gonna say it like that. Whichever foot you tap with, you then step with the same foot, okay? So if I step with my right, I tap with the left. After I tap with the left, I then step with the left. And again, it's just alternating. Step, tap, step, tap, step, tap. Okay, I'll do it one more time. I step, tap, step, tap, step, tap, step, tap, step, tap. And you can just do that, again, just do it in a circle. All right, now I'm gonna move on off that. Now, next thing we're gonna work on. Spinning technique. All right, so we have spins. Now I'm teaching it from a very salsa perspective. Now I can't really, I'm on a rug, so I can't spin too well here. But in salsa, as a guy, and if I'm leading the female in spins, I'm just spinning her like a top, and she's just spinning on one leg, one leg, one leg, one leg, and going around and around and around. Okay, we're not gonna really get to that, but I'm gonna show you how it can be practiced. But the other thing I'm going to show is spotting. So I'm going to start with the spotting part. If you can't spin, it doesn't matter. You can still turn in place just by what is called the dance merengue. You just merengue it. So basically you just step, 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 and turn in a circle. You're just alternating feet. It's just a walk. Right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left. Okay, so if for some reason spinning is not going to be what you're doing, no problem. You can still, with the music, step, 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 and you're just turning around in a circle. Now, the way that you don't get dizzy is I'm going to turn to my right. So this is going to be my right. Now I'm going to stay in the same direction as you guys. So I'm going to go to my left, where you go to your right. My eyes are going to stay on you as long as they can. And when I can no longer keep my eyes on you, I whip my head around before my body arrives. So my body is turning, my eyes are staying on you, on the Hollywood Squares. And then I get my eyes around again before my body arrives. So your eyes are the last to leave. My torso has left. My pelvis has left. My feet have left. My eyes are still on you. They're the last to leave, first to arrive. Okay, so why don't we just try that? So you're going to turn to you're going to start to turn your body to the left, but you're going to keep your eyes on me as long as you can. Now, if your neck is stiff, it might be difficult. There's certain times you're not going to be able to do it. But if your neck is plenty loose, you're going to start to rotate your body as you kind of walk in a circle. Keep your eyes on me until you can no longer, and then bring your head around. Right, so what's going to happen is this. You may be able to do this part, keep your eyes on me, but likely you're going to turn your head and your body will arrive at the same time. Remember, we want our eyes to be the last to leave, and you just bring your head over your shoulder, and then the body follows. Now, it's not like you're stopping your body, it's just that your head gets ahead of your body. All right, so it's trailing your body, and then it comes ahead of your body. And that's spotting. Now, the other thing is that gives you power. So turning comes from your upper body. It's not really going to come from your feet. When you learn how to spin for real, it's really coming from your upper body. One of the things that will help generate power is spotting. All right, so you're using your head and your neck to generate power for the spin. And it turns out you really don't have to push with your feet. When you teach people to spin in the beginning, they're trying to usually, now this is from a salsa perspective. I don't know, I know I always struggled with teaching former ballet dancers to dance salsa because when they spun, they wanted to go up. They wanted to extend as high as they could and spin like that. But the problem is spinning in salsa is a grounded experience. You need to ground and spin because the guy has to be able to spin you. If you extend your body and push up, you take the lead away from the guy, so it doesn't work. So in salsa, we're trying to stay grounded as we turn, okay? I was saying, so power is coming for the spin, power is coming from the upper body. That's important. You don't want to push with your feet. So that's the merengue turn. You're just going in a circle. It also gives styling. The head and the neck movements give the turn a little bit more flair, a little styling. Otherwise, you're just going everything at once and it looks stiff. You're not separating your snowballs. You're not separating that pelvis from the rib cage and the head and the neck. But we want to do that. First of all, it'll keep you less dizzy, but it also just looks better. All right, now, spinning technique. All right, now this is hard. And I'm not even gonna be able to do it because I'm on a rug. I'm gonna show how it can be done, okay? It's not gonna look great on my end. So, generally when you spin to the right, your weight will be on the right leg. So I'm gonna go to my left. So if I'm spinning this way, which is your right, my left, my weight would be on this, whichever side you're spinning to, the weight goes on that side. So you're gonna go to your right. So what you're gonna do, you're going to set this axis, or your axis, by you're gonna put your weight on that right foot. And you're gonna pick up your left. Now put the left foot back down, but don't put any weight on that left foot. All right, so just put your toe on the floor, okay? Now in this position, arms will go to your left. This is what generates power. So what you're gonna do is this, watch my torso. Now watch my torso in relation to my hips. My hips aren't gonna go anywhere. The torso leads and then my pelvis follows. So I can't do it so slowly. So I'm only gonna go 45 degrees. No, 90 degrees, sorry. So I'm gonna face this way at the end. So my body goes, and you're on one foot, and then you do it again. And then you do it again. And then you do it again, and you're back. All right, so that's how you practice it. Now I can't do it to my left like this, but it would look something like, if I do a full spin, again, there's too much friction, so I'm not gonna move very well, but it would look like this. All right, I use my upper body to get everything going, and then the rest of me follows. And again, this is also where your head, I would use spotting here also. So if you watch me, I'm gonna be looking at you until the end. I'm getting stuck on the rug. Ah, nice, I saw someone do it nicely. I wish I had your names, but I can't see. But yeah, that's it. So again, just think of the merengue. It's the same thing, except I'm just spinning on one leg. But the power comes from up here. So the important part, get your arms in the opposite direction. All right, so you're going this way. So get your arms in the opposite direction to begin, and get your torso moving first. And then the rest of your body goes. Because you have to not push. If you push with your feet, you're going to fall off balance. Again, I don't know how they teach it in other dances, but this is how we do it in salsa. You don't want to push with your feet because you're going to push yourself off balance. The spinning comes from the torso rotation. So I set my weight on one foot. It's kind of like Karate Kid. And then I throw my upper body into it. Go 45 degrees, then you do it again. 45, 45, 45. Then you try to do it 180. So again, I can't go to this side, so I'm gonna go this side because I keep getting too stuck. So I could, instead of going 45, I'm now gonna try to get to 180, so my back will be facing you. Get to that point, and do it again. Right, and then you try to go 3/4 of the way around. And then you try to go 360. And then eventually you try to do 2. So the objective would be to get 2 spins in. It is the challenge. Here's a trick question. Is it harder to get, as a guy, as a teacher, is it harder for me to get my students to do 2 spins or 15? Yes, obviously, just put 2 up. You would obviously think 15, but it's the 2. Because once you can do 2, you just have to hang on and keep going. The challenge is going from 1 to 2 because you have to completely let go. Spinning is the ultimate letting go experience for people who are learning to spin, especially when the guy is leading you. Most people do this. You learn, so also remember, they're dancing this basic step. And then they have to learn how to prep themselves to get into a spin. But as they do that, I'm giving them signals to say, I want you to prep for your spin. They freeze. They know it's coming, and they start to stiffen up. So you try to surprise them as much as possible with the spin, but when they're learning, when I as a guy am giving them that signal that they need to prep themselves for a spin, that's where they tighten up because they know it's coming. Okay? They have to be able to let go. They're usually they just feel like dead weight in the beginning. It doesn't matter how big or small they are. They're just hanging on and they're tight and you can't move them. But as you get more, as they start to do this type of exercise, they start to trust the letting go part a little bit more. And then eventually their bodies start to relax and they'll actually let me spin them. It's quite a process to go through. I actually got a couple of them. It got too complicated, but I wanted them to get a left ZOA right before they spun. Because what happens is they're generally spinning to their right. And as they set up, you know they're going to arch their back and they're going to flare up on that left side. So with some people, I tried to teach them to give an out breath, a little bit of an exhalation as they set up to see if we could keep them a little bit more balanced to begin with that spin. But it was just way too much to think about. So the left ZOA experiment did not get too far. But again, that's the technique and that's the little drill you can do. You can do it to both sides. It doesn't matter which side. If you're going to spin to your left, your weight will be on your left leg and your right foot's in front. If you spin to your right, your weight's on your right foot and your left foot's in front. And again, this is what I would do is go 45, 45, 45, 45. Get good at that. But what it means by getting good at that is not just getting there, it's by leading with the torso to get there. You have to always lead with the torso. And notice my knee stays bent. If your knees are not so great, this is tough. You might not want to do it, but you always have to keep your knees bent as you spin, and you're on the ball of the foot, not the heel. That's the important part also. You can't spin on your heels, you'll fall. All right, so this is my position. Again, it's kind of Karate Kid-ish, and that's what you're doing. So I would go 45, 45, 45, 45, then try to go 180, then try to go 270, and then 360. Now you could do it out of, a basic step. So if you went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, you could prep yourself on 8 and then just spin around. You can work your way in, you can work it in any way you want. There's really no right way or wrong way. Or you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ooh. All right, I got to teach something new. Same idea, but watch. All right, I'm going to go this way. 1, 2, 3, 4. You can see my right leg. 5, 6. Okay, so right now your right foot should be pointed to your right. There's 6. And now you spin around 7, 8. And then you're back into your basic. Oh, you're going to come out in the wrong direction. It can still work. Let's try it again. So if we go, no, wait, yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. Step 5. Turn your foot to your right on 6. Spin 7, 8. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You can do whatever you want at the end of that. So that's actually an easier way to work it in. It's the same concept. You're spinning on one foot to the direction in which you're going. But the setup for it is actually simpler. 1, let's just do that one more time. 1, 2, 3, tap on 4, step out on 5, turn the foot to the right on 6, use your upper body, and spin 7, 8. Your right foot should land on 8, and then your left foot will be free. Wait. Yeah, your left foot should be free. No, let me do it again because I'm doing it backwards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm landing with my left foot on 8. Yeah, and then I step on 1. So you should be free to step to your right on the first beat, which is what we want. Okay? All right, any questions? Well, I can't really have you ask questions. Again, it's on the video, so you can go back and you can check it out. All right, now, wrist circles. So there's not going to be a lot of flow to tonight. I'm just throwing a lot of concepts out because I want you to experience them all, and then you can always work on them on your own. So this is not going to be a logical step to this, not a logical flow to this. So if you just put your arms out to the side, and you're going to lead the wrist circles with your middle fingers. So it's really, you can just do one arm now. It's just, you're making circles with your wrists. All right, just down, up, down, up, down, up. And that's all it is. It can get tiring on your shoulders very quickly. You could do this when in any of those steps where we had you, where I had you put your hands above your head, you could always start to make little wrist circles. So you're using your distal appendages as you're doing a step. All right. Now, if you do the merengue turn to your left, all right, so that would be to your left would be this way. You would put your, I'm doing it backwards. If you go to your left, you would put your right hand in the air, and you could go down with the left hand. And as you go in that circle, you can make wrist circles as you turn to the left. All right, again, it's just this. All right, in dancing, the wrists stay nice and relaxed. And guys don't really do this in salsa, but the girls do. It's all part of the ribs, the shoulder and pelvis motion is just circles with the wrists. You may also feel, if you do this one at a time, if you start with your right hand up and your left hand down, and you just alternate them, you may feel your body start to go in opposite directions with the pronation and supination of the wrists. I feel it. Maybe I'm biased and it's not really happening and I'm making my body do it, but I'm pretty sure it will happen if you have really good connection of your arms and your scapulas to the rest of your body. All right, as you pronate and supinate, you'll feel your body go in different in the opposite directions. All right. Now, again, I don't know how many people are going to feel those things occurring this early in your dance career, but it can happen. All right. So that's just the wrists. Probably not a bad thing just to do throughout the course of the day. You could ground yourself through your left heel and alternate your wrists. You could put, I don't know, you could, if you were at the seminar and you have the not the cymbal, what was the tambourine. You could use a tambourine, anything that's going to make noise, or just do this. It's probably good for your wrists to get moving a little bit, especially if you're typing a lot. All right, you could just ground yourself and just do this. Alternate them. Belly dancing. I highly recommend belly dancing because it's all pelvis and rib cage control. Okay, so that would be wrist circles for kind of hand styling. Now, we are going to go into shoulders. And I'm going to give you a new song. So you're not going to be hearing that same old song again. You're going to get a different song.
Playing from Neal's iPhone.
Thank you. Where'd it go? All right. Okay, so what are you gonna do? Hands, so we're going into shoulders right now, shoulder movements. Okay, so you're gonna put your hands on your hips. This gives you something to push against. Moving your shoulders with your hands not pushing against anything is difficult. You have no reference. So we're gonna give you reference, hands on the hips. So the first thing is going to be kind of a washing machine type effect. So you're just going to alternate one shoulder forward and the other back. So just start with your right shoulder and you're going to bring it forward. Now, if you bring your right shoulder forward, the left shoulder moves back, just like the human body should do. And then you're going to bring the left shoulder forward, which is really the rib cage, remember. Then the right rib cage / shoulder, left rib cage / shoulder, and you're just going back and forth. All right, just alternate sides. You can, remember, push with your hands. Use your hands to stabilize you. So you can just alternate those shoulders, rib cage, underneath your head and your neck. All right, now I'm not moving my pelvis really at all. I'm really just isolating my rib cage from the rest of my body. I'd have my knees bent. I'd be sensing my heels or left heel, right arch. And just alternating arms, shoulders, rib cage. One side goes forward, one side goes back. And I'm not doing my whole body. Remember, I really want just here moving, not the rest of me. Because we're trying to isolate it. And then you reintegrate afterwards, but you just want to try to isolate this part. Another thing you could do to practice this can get tiring very quickly though. If you put your hands on a wall and you just do this, it's the same idea, but now you have something even more solid to push against. You'd want your hands outside your shoulders, so a little bit wider than your shoulders, and you just push the right shoulder towards the wall, then the left shoulder towards the wall. Right shoulder, left shoulder. And again, you get that washing machine type of movement. But this is the movement of the shoulders as we dance. As I'm stepping with my body, as I'm stepping with my legs, I have this alternating shoulder movement, okay? And it can be used for so many different dances. Even when I'm just doing this little two-step, that's what I'm doing to get my shoulders, to get my whole body into it, to make it look smooth. Whichever foot I step with, that same side shoulder is coming forward. And I'm going to get to that when we do Latin motion, but still. So now we're going to move these shoulders with that new song. Okay, here we go. So starting with your right shoulder, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Right shoulder, left shoulder, right, no, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left.
Pensé que me borraría, no, 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 que de tu mente y de tu pasado me sacaría, oh, y ahora me quedo solo por tu traición.
Now you just want to go straight forward with
No
it.
importa cuánto te llamen, que eres mi amor.
You may feel your body moving from side to side as you do this. At least slightly, maybe not completely though. Now I'm going to speed it up. So right now with that beat, I'm going 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Ay, que sí que no, que sí que no, que sí que no, que sí que no, que fue un error el revisar tu celular.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right shoulder, left shoulder. Right, left, right, left, right, left, right. Now, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Now the idea is for the rest of your, remember, the rest of your body really shouldn't be moving. And this is what gets difficult. It gets difficult to get your shoulders to move forward without your hip. All right, again, it's the whole idea of separating the rib cage from the pelvis. So when I'm doing this, my pelvis really is not, is there a micro movement going on? Yes. But is it visible? No. It's really, I'm really controlling my rib cage with my abdominals, and I am moving those shoulders independently of the rest of my body. I got a stable base through my feet, connection to the ground. My pelvis is, slightly rounded, but nothing else is moving, just that rib cage and thus the shoulders on top. Now, rolling them. So when you roll the shoulder, you have to bring it forward. So bring your right shoulder forward and then roll it backwards. Forward and roll back. Forward and roll back. So, you know how when you're doing scap work, you're bringing shoulder blades back and down? Same idea. When you roll it backwards, back and down, back and down. So you're making a circle, comes forward, then up, back, and down. Forward, up, back, and down. Forward, up, and back, and down. And you're just rolling that shoulder up, back, and down. Just your right shoulder. Use your hands on your hips to help stabilize. And kind of push through those hands. All right. And then you can switch to the opposite shoulder, same thing. Roll it back and down, back and down, back and down. Hopefully you have scapulas that are easily moving. So this would be interesting if you use with clients or patients and you see how well they can roll their shoulders. Does the rest of their body have to move? Or can they really isolate just the shoulder movement? And then of course you can alternate them. So you go, so you can start with your right, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left. And this is what's going on every time I do that little basic step. So watch, when I'm doing my basic, I'm doing little micro rolls. It's subtle, but it's there. And that's what makes the movement look. So if you watch from the side, now I messed it up. That's what's happening. Whichever foot I step with, that shoulder comes forward and then I roll it back. Forward and roll back. So that's how rolling shoulders can make this little two-step, which again, 90% of the population can't do more than that. So again, if you can add the shoulders into it, you're way beyond them. So if you can just get good at rolling shoulders. Now, another pop quiz, which no one can answer because you can't answer me. Which leg does the hands go over? Which foot do the hands go over? Whichever foot you're stepping with, right? So if I step with my right foot, hands go over that foot, right? So if I'm doing this two-step, and then, so you have hands moving over this foot that's stepping, that shoulder's coming forward, and then it's then rolling back. And that's the entire movement. Hands go to the same side that's stepping, and that shoulder comes forward, and then it comes back. Okay, so just realize that's what you're seeing when you're watching me doing this. That's what you're seeing is this shoulder rolls, having isolated the shoulders, hands are going. If I did not roll my shoulder when I do this, my hands are just doing this. They go over the foot that's stepping. And then you add the shoulders. And this is where the control really comes in. Now, trust me, it takes a lot of practice to get it all integrated nicely. But just doing this and getting your scapulas moving independently, I think is actually a really good thing if you can do it. You know, if you have neck tension, it might bother you, but it's something to strive for, right? Now, so that would be that. Okay, so let's just, we're gonna roll the shoulders with a beat. So the beat's gonna be 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 5. I'll show you that. So I'm gonna start with the right. So it's gonna go 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. So you're pausing on beats 4 and 8. So there's no roll on 4 and the 8. So I'm counting 1, 2, 3, pause 4, 5, 6, 7, pause 8. 1, 2, 3, pause, 5, 6, 7, pause. 1, 2, 3, pause, 5, 6, 7, pause. 1, 2, 3, pause, 5, 6, 7, pause. That's a salsa count. So if you ever want to dance salsa, you'll have that idea of how do these shoulders move, how does this body move with a salsa beat. There's no step on the 4 and the 8. So you're counting 8 beats of music, but you only step on beats 1, 2, 3, and beats 5, 6, 7. But it makes this look a little bit more interesting rather than just constantly going 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So you just do it with the salsa beat. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. So again, I'll put the music on. 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. Good. All right. Now, one other thing about that, you don't, as much as possible, you don't want to pull up too high, too far to your ear. So you don't want to do this. You want to go more back. So you don't want to be using your upper traps too much by pulling. It's gonna look kind of odd. All right. So you want to go more back than up. All right. Then moving on. Let's go. So those are shoulders. So we also have, remember, you can start just with forward and back. And if you can let go enough, you can shimmy. And it's just letting go of those shoulders as you move them forward and back. All right, it's kind of styling. It's really, really hard to do, but that's a shoulder shimmy. It's weird to let them go and just vibrate forward and back. That's what it is. It's just, that's the shimmy, okay? Now, hips. Pendular motion, down, up. So here, can you see my feet? Okay. Knees have to stay nice and relaxed. You're going to go. Now, you're not going to, neither knee will straighten completely. They'll always slightly be bent when I'm doing this little exercise. My hips are just going to do this pendular down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, but it's being driven by my knees. So as I straighten one knee, not completely, and as I bend the other knee, so let's bend our right knee a little extra. When you do that, where does your left hip go? Put your finger on your left hip. Bend your right knee. Point to the direction which your left hip went. Yes, that way. Good job. Woman in the black shirt. You have like a, yes, that was you. You just raised your hand. Yes, that was, you gave me the good answer. All right. All right, so when you bend your, I'm doing this backwards. So when you bend your right knee, your left hip goes out to the side. And then your left knee slightly straightens, but not completely straight. So I'm keeping, both my knees are staying bent, but I'm just alternating the bentedness of one as opposed to the other. And that's what makes my hips go in that pendular motion. All right, so if we start with the right knee, bend the right knee a little bit more, left hip goes out, and then alternate, out, 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 out. It doesn't matter where you put your hands. You could put your hands on your hips and you'll start to feel that pelvis going from side to side, side to side. Remember, I'm not locking either knee. It's just different degrees of bentedness. Yeah. And this is the beginning of what's Latin motion. This is Latin hips. All right. Again, if you straighten one leg completely, it's going to just look kind of herky-jerky. So the knees stay soft. And I want my knees to go straight forward. I don't want them to collapse in. I just want them to go straight forward. And I'm alternating that movement. All right, so if we do it with a count, let's start with the right leg first on 1. So right knee bends, 1, left knee bends, 2, and then right knee again, 3. All right, let's do that again. So right knee, right knee. 5, 6, 7, 8, right, left, right. If you put your hands on your hips, you should feel them go. Well, they'll go the opposite direction, but just feel the hips move. Right, left, right. And that is the hip motion. Okay, and that's what I'm using as I do this. That is what I'm doing. It's my knees that are driving the hip motion. I don't really have to. If you move your knees correctly, the hips will move on their own. That's what I'm trying to get across. When you see people dancing and they have hip motion, if you do see people dancing and they have hip motion, they're not moving their hips on purpose. You control the hips by stepping correctly with the bent knee. So it's opposite of everyday life. You don't hit the floor with a straight leg. You actually hit the floor with a slightly bent knee, and that's what drives the hip motion. So it's really opposite of what you do in normal life. So it's kind of weird. So again, so let's start with that right knee. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. Right knee, 1, left knee, 2, right knee, 3, 5, 6, 7. Good. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. Yes, and now remember the hands. So when I bend with my right knee, my hands are going to go over that right. My hands are going to go over the right knee as I bend that right knee. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. And this is Latin motion. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. Now, what you don't want to do is look like you're running. So you don't want your elbows doing this. So you don't want that occurring. Remember when I said you could have a stick in your hands and you just go side to side with the stick? If you look at you, so you don't want your elbows going into this sagittal plane. You don't want them going behind you. They have to stay in the frontal plane. I'm exaggerating this a little bit, but you want to keep them in the frontal plane rather than, or maybe that would be transverse, rather than transverse. You just want to keep them in front of you. Elbows stay in front. Think about keeping your elbows in line with your shoulders instead of coming behind your shoulders. All right, that's what's going to look better as you dance. So if we do it again, so you're going to bend your right knee, hands go to the right. 1, look at your right elbow. Is it behind your right shoulder or in line with it? Should be in line. Then go 2. Again, is the elbow behind your right shoulder or in line? Should be in line. 3, 5, 6, 7. And that's all there is to it. I mean, that's not all there is to it, but that's not, I'm not saying it's easy, it's not. But again, when you're dancing, you actually have to pick your foot up and put it down as you do this. So that's a whole nother world. You have to be able to pick one foot up and put the other one down as you're doing this, where it automatically becomes a lot harder. All right, so I'm just showing you how to do it as a drill by keeping both feet on the ground. I'm not picking my heel up. My feet are staying flat as I do this drill. This is how we start everybody off. Just this. And then eventually, I'll have them pick their feet up and put them down. It automatically becomes a lot harder. And what's going to happen is this. When you put the foot down, you want that knee bent as you put the foot down. What most people are going to do is they're going to put the foot down and the knee locks immediately. They straighten it. It has to be bent. You're in mid stance upon striking the foot. All right. You don't want to strike in heel strikes. The Latin motion is kind of like regular, is like walking without heel strike. You're already in mid stance as you hit. All right. So you hit with the foot flat and the knee is bent. You don't straighten the leg as you make impact. It's got to stay bent for the whole beat. And that's the alternating motion that produces these Latin hips that then translates into pretty much anything else you ever want to do in dancing, because it just works. Except samba. If you do samba, it'll be the exact opposite. And it took me so long to figure out why it felt so awkward, because they do it the exact opposite way. But that's only one dance in one country, so you don't have to worry about it. Most of the other dances will do something like this. Okay? So with that song, that's what we're going to do. Okay. Okay, here we go. Start with your right knee. 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2.
Y ahora me quedo solo por tu traición. Y no importa cuánto te llame, no quieres mi amor.
You have to go down into the ground. You ground yourself. Down, 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 down. roll your shoulders. Can you walk around a circle to the left? Can you pick one? Can you get your feet off the ground and put them down appropriately? Remember, you don't want to straighten your knee as you step. You got to land with the bent knee. Turn around. Can you add the spotting of your eyes? And remember, this is all on video, so you can just look at the video. Okay. To finish off, because we only have a couple minutes, what I want you to do, drop onto your left knee. You just bend your left knee a little bit. Now you're going to lean forward with your chest. Then bring your abdomen up and up. So you're going to drop down and up. So you're doing a body roll up, down, head, start with the head, sorry. Down, head, chest, abdomen. So it's this. Head, chest, abdomen. Head, chest, abdomen. Head, chest, abdomen. All right, so if you drop down onto your left leg, then you come back up with the body roll. All right, so if I were doing this little two-step, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Just another little styling thing. Body rolls are used in a lot of different type of dancing. So head, so you can think about the way I learned it. Someone's holding like a hula hoop, and you have to put your head through the hula hoop and go through. Now they go up and down. They can go down, but I'm starting you down and up. All right, so it can go either way. You know what? Don't even go down. Start up top. Start head, chest, sit. Head, chest, sit. Head, chest, sit. Oh yeah, sorry. If you started down, you'd want to go pelvis first, chest up. So it would be down, pelvis, chest up. So it's that. Down, pelvis, chest, head. I can't even do it slow. Down, and there it is. Rewind. You'll just have to go to the videotape. Down, pelvis, chest, head. Or to go down, head, chest, sit. Head, chest, sit. Head, chest, sit. And the other thing was a hula hoop. So if you put your weight on your left, I'm going to do it. So this is my left. I'm going to go counterclockwise. So if I'm going to match you. So this is your left leg, right? Yeah. Then you just go clockwise in a hula hooping motion. So you're in left AFIR with a hula hoop, actual technique. And you're just, that's it. Right arch, left heel. Put your arms up. Doesn't matter what you do with your arms, really. I'm sure it'd be better if they're away from your side for PRI reasons. You could do, some, actually it's kind of tough. Oh, I have to actually work on that. So you're going to work on that. I'm not going to do that. See if you can alternate your wrists while you hula hoop. That's actually kind of weird. I've never done that before, so I'll have to work on it. But so that's just two little styling things. You can always body roll and hula hoop, along with everything else we did. So I think I covered everything that I could really cover for styling. Again, it's all going to be on video on the YouTube channel, so you can go back and pick out little different elements of it. It's a lot. It's really, really hard to do to make it look good. It's really hard to do just, even if you're not making it look good, it's just hard to do. But that is really the exercises, shoulders. And remember, the hips are because of the knees. Alternating your knees is what moves the hips. All right, this going side to side is actually your hips, but the real lat motion aspect is stepping with bent knees. Alternating the knees is what moves the hips. So that's it. And you can just try to put some of that into the basic steps that I already taught in the first week. And then arms. I'm moving my hips with these samba arms, right? So it all goes together, but it's not an easy thing to put it all together. But so that's it. So thank you for joining me. I'm happy I got the opportunity to do this because it was always on my mind. And then Ron said, hey, let's have you teach some dancing. So it was a pretty cool experience. So I thank you for showing up. And I don't know if Jen wants to say anything at the end, but thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Neal. I am getting messages on the chat saying thank you and how much people enjoyed this. So thank you again very much. Thank you to those who joined us each week. We really enjoyed having you here. And yes, this will be fun to go back and watch for years to come and practice and hopefully get to be a little bit just as good as Neal is at dancing and try to incorporate this with our PRI activity. So thank you again, everyone. Have a wonderful evening. Thank you, Neal.
All right. Bye-bye.